Write down the number 8 when handicapping this one. This is Across the Board with Jeff Grant here at SBRforum.com. Going to take a look at the Los Angeles Clippers versus the Philadelphia 76ers at the Wells Fargo Center in the city of brotherly love. Clippers opened up as 4.5-point road favorites. Number has moved as high as 5.5 in the betting market, while the total stands at 184.5, 185. You look at the Clippers. A lot of you watched the Grammys last night. They are ending their Grammy road trip. They are 3-4 right now, an 8-game trip away from the Staples Center, coming off an impressive 102-88 victory over the New York Knicks as 3.5-point road underdogs on Sunday in front of a primetime audience. Game went under the total of 192. Chris Paul, his second game back since missing about 10 games with a bruised kneecap, scored 25 points and dished out 7 assists. This is the first time that he's going to be playing the second game of a back-to-back since nursing that injury, so I expect head coach Vinny Del Negro to really limit his minutes here, especially as we go into the All-Star break at the end of this week. But Paul has combined for 49 points in his last 2 trips to the Wells Fargo Center. When you handicap this game, back-to-back, end of the Grammy road trip, yes, the Clippers may want to get on a roll going into the All-Star break, but they are 0-5 against the spread as road favorites when closing out a back-to-back situation. But if you're looking to push that trend to the side and go with another betting trend, 5-2 against the spread as road favorites of 3.5 to 6 points, while the under has gone 5-2 in that situation. For live bettors, definitely get involved with live betting to really maximize your opportunities in gaining a profit, especially in the NBA with so many swings over the course of a game. Live bettors need to write this one down. The Clippers are 27-2 straight up when leading after the first quarter this year. That is the best mark in the NBA, while the 76ers are 12-2 in that situation, 4th best in the association. When you look at Philadelphia, they are closing out an 8-game homestand. So as I mentioned at the beginning of this video, write down the number 8 when handicapping this one. 8-game road trip versus an 8-game homestand. I'm kind of liking the value with the home underdog here. They are 5-2 during their current homestand. Haven't faced a lot of world beaters in picking up those 5 wins, and their 2 losses against defensive-minded teams of the Indiana Pacers and Memphis Grizzlies. But I don't expect, even though the Clippers are one of the better defensive teams in the league, I don't expect them to have that urgency in closing out such a trip on Monday night. The Sixers also 7 of 44 from beyond the arc in their last 3 games. That is a key statistic to handicap due to the fact that the last 4 losses for the Clippers, they've allowed opponents to shoot 54.4% from the 3-point area. In their last 4 wins, they've held opponents to 27.3% shooting from beyond the arc. Series history, sometimes these statistics don't mean too much due to the fact of all the player movement in the league, but it is still important to note that the Clippers have been held to under 100 points in 8 of their last 10 trips to the city of brotherly love, and the Clippers, or the Sixers, have out-rebounded their last 4 opponents by 7.7 boards per game. I think they're really going to get after it here with this being their last game before the All-Star break, last home game before the All-Star break, and once again, the Clippers playing on the road. 20-9 ATS at home, the Sixers, when playing with the total between 185 and 189.5. They're 7-3 against the spread this year, and the Clippers don't land in this situation due to the fact that they score a lot of points. Don't land in this situation with the total of 185 to 189.5 very often, and the 76ers have played some of the best defense in the league in their last 10 games. So I'm going to go with the value here. I'm going to pick the Philadelphia 76ers plus 5.5 against the Los Angeles Clippers. I just like the situation too much, and I'm not interested in laying the points here. If you like the Clippers, I just suggest laying off the game and just letting it play out itself and come back after the All-Star break. This has been another edition of Across the Board with Jeff Grant here at SBRforum.com. For any further information on this game, especially if some of these players don't play the second game of a back-to-back, especially a Chauncey Billups or a Blake Griffin or a Chris Paul, definitely follow me on Twitter at Jeff Grant Sports.